12-gauge. So don't go hacking down any barrels. You've got dronatoids and nematodes and hemorrhoids to worry about out there because everybody's terrified of those now. We call them RC toys, but everybody else has to use that special name. Well, then you're going to need a bird barrel. So don't cut anything down. Leave it right where it is. And remember that. Just keep reminding everybody. No, don't cut your barrel down. You're all terrified of the dronatoids. Since you're all terrified of the dronatoids, you know, little toy RC versions, you need to be ready to hunt them like you hunt quail. Quail are fast and furious and twist around, and we shoot them dead and we eat them. Now, we don't plan on eating the RC toys, but we do plan on hunting them. And so 12-gauge, especially since the bad guys might provide us with some number 4 shot, you never know. I don't know what they're going to buy yet. Probably double-aught buck, maybe some 4-buck, certainly some slug. Be prepared to use all the above. And don't throw away your game loads. For the dronatoids that are made out of that nice chip plastic, taking a big chunk out of them with a big wad of 12-gauge, yeah, just like a partridge. They don't fly well when they're lopsided and kind of, rolling out of the sky. Wow, that hurt. For the partridge, they're tasty. For the dronatoids, it just means that then you go hunt the operator down and use the same 12-gauge on him. Maybe just the buttstock.
Those drones won't be any higher than 300 feet, the ones you're talking about, Mark.
Well, most of them will want to get closer. The problem is, it's like everything else. Number one, they're going to make noise. Goose guns, my favorite is still Mr. 10-gauge goose gun. I've told you guys, air defense. The only thing this is what gets me, is in a military situation, you want umbrellas of air defense at different ranges. So Mr. Goose Gun is your friend. Mr. 12-gauge is your friend. Even rifle fire, but rifle fire is not most likely, unless it's auto fire, is not going to be used. And if it is, in that 300 to 600 yard range, use the 223 in full auto. And use it like an air defense gun. Well, you're supposed to, guys, not just spraying and praying, but actually learn to use your weapon. And you're going to be hunting like that. The world, the three-dimensional battlefield, has umbrellas of fire that are incorporated. If you have not studied this, you need to embrace military science. Instead of going, oh my God, they've got dronatoids, totally changes the dimension of the battlefield. Something we talked about before, these big RC aircraft. Guys, these big, you've got 1/3 scale RC aircraft out there right now. Do you know how priceless those are psychologically? To do exactly what we're talking about, changing three-dimensionally the battlefield. Instead of it being lopsided where everybody goes, oh my God, they got choppers. What about if you throw a bunch of junk up and out there and they got to figure out what to do with it? You're buying time. If nothing else, look at it as kind of like a goofy target drone, but it could be better than that. This is part of cluttering the battlefield. Even if it's a minor item, whatever you do, they have to think about it. They have to re-engineer their brain on it. It changes completely the dimension of the battlefield. The first time that a small fixed-wing aircraft strafes one of their pieces of equipment, the chatter on the radio is going to be all over the spectrum. Especially if you waddle in and drop, say, a 40-gallon drum of napalmed fuel that just washes a road area or something. You dump that 40-gallon steel drum that's already got a cap activator hooked to it, and in fact it can be radio controlled nowadays with RC communication, and you just tap a button and it goes, it blows up before it hits the ground. Psychologically, do you know what that does for your side? Oh, it changes the world. Because remember, we're all dummies. We can never figure any of this out. Be creative. Start sitting down and thinking about how many ways you could be mean. And mean because you got to stay alive. And as an infantryman, that is your job. Kill as many of them as you can. Stay alive. To do that, you've got to be constantly devious and constantly creative.